getting into it. So, there's a great quote by Walt Disney. If you know me, you know I absolutely love a Walt Disney quote. So, Walt Disney says, all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Okay, I think it's a great thing and a great quote to start to frame out what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because I believe that for most of us, we've got great goals, great dreams, great ambitions, but unfortunately, a lot of us, we just don't actually get out and implement the work that's necessary to do it. You know, whether that's because we've got emotional reasons, whether it's because we've got time reasons, you know, whether we've not put the right structures in place, whether we've not just really defined the goals that we have properly, so we just don't really know what we want to achieve. There's a thousand reasons why people don't actually achieve their goals. But the key thing is that only we have the power to make a change to that. You know, you can achieve absolutely anything you want if you literally just hold yourself, you know, don't hold yourself back. If you progress yourself forward. John's just said, nothing holding me back, I'm going for it. Exactly. John this year, he's set up his own business and he started his own little business on the side that he's going to build into something enormous. He's got great dreams and he's set himself up amazingly. You know, so what we've got to do is be able to actually get out there and start to put these things into practice. Because all too commonly what we hear within the business and within our coaching clients, within our team, are people's dreams that they've had for a number of years. You know, it isn't just that people have been thinking about things for a year or 2 years. You know, how often do you speak to those people and that your friends that you've known and they've had the same dreams for 5, 10 years? You know, so many people that they'll go to the grave having wished that they did something. You know, and in a lot of these conversations and documentaries and things, you see where they go and they speak to old people in rest homes and things like that and go, you know, what in looking back at your life, you know, what would be the lessons that you could give to me? And the most common thing that people start with when they start to speak is they say, I wish, or I regret. You know, all too common it's the things that we don't do that stick with us forever. But all too commonly, we don't take that bit of effort to step out and do the things that we really want to do. You know, so what are the things that you wanted to do that's just not happening for you? Because they'll be there. You'll have put them to the side. You'll have got distracted by life. Too busy, being a person doing. A person doing, not a human being. You know, we're all too busy going through the motions of life. We're in the rat race. You know, days, every single day the same. You get up, you go to work, you go through your work day, come home, maybe do a bit of gym, maybe do whatever, mess with the kids, bed, repeat the cycle. You know, some people's weeks are exactly the same. So within that, how do you ever have room to do anything different? You know, because unless we create space for things, nothing's ever going to change because we're always going to fill our time. Adam just said here, one thing that holds me back is when I get others putting me down. And sometimes he sees accusations towards him, and how does he overcome that? So Adam's talking about marketing here. We'll get to that in a bit, Adam. We've got something about that with regards to the opinions of others. And the thing you say about opinions, you know, the opinions of others are like, well, it's actually a bit of a different term, but, you know, it's like opinions of others are like noses. Everybody's got one. I won't say the real term, but you know, everybody's got an opinion, and you look and just go, do you know what? You're absolutely entitled to your opinion because everybody's opinion is right. Right? Everybody's opinion is right. It's 100% right for them because their opinion has been based on their specific circumstances. Yep, and everybody's beliefs and their knowledge is all based around, you know, what's happened to them, what they've been told, the things that they've seen, and all of their experiences. And as things pass through those filters, or when something comes into your mind, before your mind will actually allow it through into the subconscious so that your brain can process it, it goes through all these filters to check whether it's safe to come in. And it goes like, do I know about this? Have I heard about this? Does this sound like something I know about? And if it doesn't pass any of those with a tick, it goes to the red flag of don't let through, which is risk. Yeah, it's like a self-protection mechanism. So for most people, it's like, you know, do I understand this? No. And unfortunately on the internet, it's especially true these days, on the internet, it's too easy to troll. You know, so a lot of us will be held back by the opinions of others because there's so many people out there are trolls. What happens in social media is people are always putting their best self forward. You know, nobody's putting on social media when they feel like crap on a Saturday morning when they're getting up at 5 a.m. and they want to die. You know, no one's putting on social media. These girls are never putting on, oh my God, I feel horrible today. I've got a big spot. And, you know, the guy that I've been seeing I've found out that he's seen somebody else. These people on social media with the perfect lives, they're not broadcasting that because they're too busy taking selfies and showing you the great things that they're doing. You know, so you look and go, other people's opinions, you know, quite commonly, they're based on their circumstances. And what you've got to do and go look and go, for your circumstance, you're absolutely entitled to your opinion. But the thing is, I'm going somewhere. I believe in what I see. I'm trying to make something of my life. Is what I'm doing perfect? Do I understand it all? Might I make some mistakes along the way? Might I lose some time? Might I lose money? May some things not quite go right? Yeah, absolutely. But for everything that goes wrong, I'm going to learn something. You know, and you'll know from your jobs. You know, how often does someone come into your work that's a graduate? They've been through uni, but they've got no idea about how business works because they've not learned from the school of hard knocks. You know, so other people's opinions, again, a lot of the time they don't come from having experience. A lot of people have one experience that's negative and they give up on life and then spend the rest of their life being negative about everything. You know, versus getting back on the horse and going, do you know what? That was a bit bad, but, you know, the world's generally a good place and I'm going to move forward. So other people's opinions, generally, I look and go, you're entitled to it. You know, but you know, wish them well on their way and you know, I guess send them love and light and hope that something happens in their life to make them not so negative in the future. So John said they're doing 2 jobs at the moment, which is tough, but the end result is short-term pain, long-term gain. Yeah, that's what it's all about. You know, a bit of short-term pain is exactly what builds for success in the future. So what we've come around with a lot of this stuff and what's held us back quite commonly is fear. Now, you know, for anyone that's not doing anything at the moment or for something that's holding you back, that stopped you moving forward with the things that you've wanted to do this year, could you put it down to being fear? Would you allow to class yourself as fear? Is there something that's been holding you back that you've been going, well, you know, I'll say I haven't got time, but really I'm not making this a priority. I say that I haven't got the money, but really, again, I'm not making it a priority. And I say there's these reasons why I can't do it. I'm too busy at work. I've not got the brain space, X, Y, Z. If you were really truthful and honest with yourself, could you put it down to saying, do you know what? I'm maybe a little bit scared of something. You know, and there's various types of fear. And fear doesn't necessarily mean that you're like scared, like you're petrified, you know, that you don't have courage. What it means is that we've as humans, we've got like a protection factor, and all part of that is we don't sit in the situation anymore where we are in danger from being killed by a lion. You know, that isn't a danger to us anymore. You know, what it is that's the big danger to us these days is emotional danger. You know, and that emotional danger allows us to put up all of these barriers to us progressing. And this is called like self-sabotage. You know, so that fear of failure, you know, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. Good luck with the volleyball grand final, John. Fear of judgment. You know, what will people think of me? What if I try this and I don't succeed? What if people know that I'm trying something new and I don't succeed at it? What if I have to give up? What if I don't, you know, what if I don't manage to lose the weight that I want to lose? What if I don't manage to build the career or the business that I want? What if I try and make, you know, progress myself in the football team or the netball team and I don't quite make the grade and other people mock me for it? You know, this is commonly what holds people back. It's the opinions of others. You know, commonly it's either for that fear of embarrassment, or there's quite commonly where when you want to do something, you go, well, what if I do manage to achieve this? And what if I don't know what to do when I get there? What if I am successful in my business and then I've got to quit my job? You know, what if I have a business and I'm great at it and it all works, and then I've got to give my job up, which is safe? You know, and then if I give my job up, it's safe, and then my business doesn't go well, then what? You know, and there's all this forward thinking and anxiety that comes in people just with the thought of what potentially might happen. You know, and the acronym of FEAR, false evidence appearing real. You know, and quite commonly what we do is we actually think forward of what could go wrong. And based on what potentially could go wrong, we make a story of all the possible scenarios. And for the majority of people, what we do is we actually think all of these things that could go wrong and what if it happens. And so we go, okay, any of this stuff could potentially happen, so I'm gonna stop. You know, and instead of being that person, those crazy dreamers, you know, like Steve Jobs says, it's the crazy people that have those great ideas, and it's the crazy people that usually change the world. That's actually a Paul quote. There you go, write that down, Beth. Bad quote moment. You know, but it's those dreamers that people mock. But they're the ones that change the world. Why? Because they have a belief, they have a dream and a vision. And they're willing to pursue it fearlessly because they go, do you know what? This is something I believe in. Might this work? Yeah, might it not? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a go anyway because I'd rather do that than spend my life wondering what if. You know, so it's so important to do that, to understand, is there something that you're afraid of? Is there something that's bringing up that fear in you? Yeah, and you look and go, right, well, what do we do? You know, do we stick with the status quo? Do we stay how things are? Do we stay in this status of comfortable discomfort? Now, that's an important one, comfortable discomfort, where life isn't comfortable, where there's things that you're discontented with, that you're not happy with. This was where I was with my career when I was in corporate. I earned great money, I had an easy job, I was well looked after, and yet I was dissatisfied with life. Hey Jody, I was dissatisfied with life. You know, the way things were didn't please me. And I had to get out because that little voice that was speaking in my ear had been speaking in my ear for too long. You know, and it slowly was becoming a shout. And I was like, I had to listen to it. And you ask yourself, is that little voice talking to you? And how long does it talk to you before it becomes a shout and a roar? You know, and sometimes if you leave it that long, the universe will give you a nudge. You know, you might get made redundant. You might get made sick. You know, you might become sick as a way to make you think, maybe I need to be a bit more healthy. You know, you get that little wake-up call. Do you change your health a little bit? Oh, no, I'll be right. I've got past this one. I'll be okay. You know, you have a little bit of a problem. You faint one time. You have some other health problems. And don't listen to it. And then down the track, that's when people get serious health complaints. But they've had all the warnings. You know, and that's that little roar. That's that little whisper. You know, where people stick with the status quo, and it's easier to continue to live with that same lifestyle than to make those changes. Until something big happens and all of a sudden people change their lives. Or some people don't. You know, so to ask yourself, am I comfortable in my discomfort? And in the long run, to look forward and go, will I be that way that in so many years' time? Am I going to be happy when I look back in 10 years' time and see that I haven't actually made the changes? Am I going to be happy that I've sat with this for all of this time and never made the change? You know, think forward and ask yourself, if I haven't made changes, how am I going to feel about myself knowing at this point now I've actually sat and thought about this? Because I can tell you there's moments in my life when I look back and I think there was a definite point in time where I had a fork in the road and I had the choice to go one way or the other, and I took one way. And certain times it's been good and others it's been bad, and those bad decisions stick with you. So really important to look and go that, can I do that? Can I find out what it is that I'm afraid of? Can you go inside yourself? You know, and this is something that we don't do. We don't find what our fears are. And for anyone that's not done this before, this is a really important thing. To go and sit and find a quiet room, just get some silence. And this is something we never do because we occupy ourselves almost every minute of the day. Even more so now because there's never a minute of peace. Because if you're at peace, you're straight on the phone. 2 seconds to yourself with nothing to think about, and you're on the phone swiping. So go and find somewhere quiet. Sit down and think about what it is that you want to achieve. Think about moving forward and feel that little knot that comes up inside yourself. You know, and look and go, think to yourself and ask it, you know, what are you? This is like, for some of you, you might never done this before. What are you? What are you thinking? What are you telling me? And think about that feeling right here. Sit, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and talk to that feeling and ask it what it is. And it'll tell you, I promise you. It's a little bit spooky voodoo, woo-woo stuff for those of you that aren't into that. But if you ask it, it'll tell you what it is that you're afraid of. Find that fear. It'll just pop into your mind, and that's a fraction of a second where you go, what is that? No, it can't be that. It's got to be something else. That thing that pops up, just that bang, that split moment, that's what it is. And you might feel stupid when you say it to yourself, because your brain will try and tell you that that's not it, but it is. So find that fear. There's a great quote there. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. It's a Mark Twain quote. So courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. So everybody gets scared. Everyone has self-doubt. The trick to it is to move forward. Courage comes before confidence. I absolutely believe in that. Courage comes before confidence, and confidence comes before competence. You've got to be willing to get started, and then you're going to start and not be very good at it. It's like riding a bike. You've got to do it and just be not scared of falling off. And then you're going to be trying to do jumps and stuff when you're a kid and jump off curbs and that kind of stuff, and you're rubbish at it and you wobble all over the place, but you're like, yeah, I can do this. And then every so often you fall over because you're not actually that good, but you try. And over time, as your confidence builds, you become competent. It's really important that, to move forward, find that fear. And if you can't actually face it, let's find a way to work around it. Now, all we've got to do is try and head towards where we're going. Think of our dreams, head towards our dreams. Is what we want, is it worth a little bit of discomfort? Because I guarantee you, anything in life that doesn't cause a little bit of discomfort, it almost doesn't happen. Anything that's worth having. So can you face the fear? And if you can't necessarily face the fear, if it's something that's just really difficult for you to actually get stuck into, can you find a way to work around it? And these are all these cheats. There's tons of them. How do you move forward with your life without necessarily having to go fully right into it immediately? So like if you're working online, if you're going in social media, before you start making all your own content, before you start hitting loads of live streams and doing videos like this, can you share other people's content? Can you read something and then kind of regurgitate what they've said? Because I'll tell you, Picasso said this: good artists copy and great artists steal. There's no such thing as a unique idea. I absolutely guarantee you, everyone's been influenced from somewhere else. And when someone comes up with something amazing, usually it's just like their interpretation of something someone else has said. Hey, Susanna. So really important this. Courage is not the lack of fear, but moving forward in spite of fear. Dealing with your fear, facing it, getting up again when you get knocked down, building a strength against life's challenges. That's a quote from the film Finding Joy. If you've not watched that, it's a great film. Courage is not the lack of fear, but moving forward in spite of fear. Dealing with your fear, facing it, getting up again when you get knocked down. Building a strength against life's challenges. That's powerful. It's building up that strength to work through fear, to face it, to find a way around it. Again, every master was once a disaster. You don't have to be perfect first time, but you've got to get started to get going. It's so powerful. You've got to start to move forward, because if you don't, you'll never get there. So it's about having that conviction, that tenacity to start and just be brave enough to move forward a little bit at a time. Now, Adam said before about people's opinions. This is really important. Association and dissociation. Okay? The people around us will commonly judge us. The people you want to support you commonly won't. As I was saying earlier, that commonly people they've had their own life experiences. They've tried something and failed. They've loved and lost. They've tried to build a business and it hasn't worked for them. They've tried working with a training company and they didn't get the results. They tried working with a network marketing or an online company and it didn't work for them. You know, they've bought a car and it's been a banger. They've done whatever they've done, put their trust into something and it's failed. But commonly, you know, most people never take responsibility for what happened to them based on their effort in there, their involvement. You know, so for most people, I look around and I go, well, those who have loved and lost and been hurt, quite commonly, the warning signs were there that the people they were seeing were a bad egg. You know, people who get involved and do these investments into get-rich-quick schemes, you can tell that they stink from the word go. You know, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You know, all of these things, you know, people that go with companies and you know, try and start businesses and they don't stick at it long enough. You know, oh, it didn't work. Well, how long did you do it for? Well, 6 months and I hadn't made money. And you look and go, well, you know, if you were an apprentice electrician, do you think you'd be an electrician after 6 months? No, you wouldn't. You'd still be making cups of tea. You know, so, you know, did you give it 3 years? Did you give yourself 10,000 hours? You know, that it takes to master anything. You know, Bruce Lee said, I'm not afraid of the man with 10,000 punches, but the man who punched that punch 10,000 times. It's important to know, for anything it takes mastering, that takes work. So whatever you want, it takes time. If you want to lose however many kilos, you're not going to do that overnight. You know, if you want abs, if you want guns, if you want whatever, you know, girls, if you want a booty, you know, it isn't going to happen overnight. You got to work at that stuff. And the reason why people have body success is because they work at it for years. Now, this comes down to association and dissociation, because you look and go, who is supporting you? You know, the people that you want supporting you are the people who have been there and done that. The people who align with your values. You know, commonly our friends and family don't align with our values of self-improvement. You know, our family, quite commonly, they want the best for us, but they don't necessarily support and assist us. You know, what happens commonly with our friends, again, as we said before, when they hear something, anything they hear goes through those same checks. Do I understand about this? Have I heard about this? Do I know someone that knows something about this? Does this sound like something else I've heard before? If not, warning. And most people are programmed in the negative, not in the positive. You know, most people are glass half empty, not half full. So when we speak to our friends, commonly, they're going to try and protect us from a place of fear. Fear for themselves. You know, they're scared for themselves, they're scared for everybody else. You know, they aren't go-getters, they aren't courage. So commonly, when you bounce ideas off your friends and family, what they're going to do is they're going to try and play you down and protect you. You know, either from a place of true wanting the best for you, or they might be from the place of where they don't want to see people do better. And we've all done it. You know, we've all been guilty of telling somebody, oh, you know, that doesn't look so good, or that guy's no good for you, or whatever it be. And it being from a little bit of a place of like, I don't want them to do better. Everybody's done it. And that's where your friends and family comes. You know, and a good quote from Les Brown, when you have hopes and dreams, you don't need anyone's approval but your own. You're the only person that needs to approve your hopes and dreams. Everything that you do should come with diligence. You know, be diligent around everything that you do. Do your research. Find people that you trust in that area. You know, find people who can help you. Find reputable companies. Find coaching companies. Find mentors. You know, there's always going to be people around you who can help you. And it may take you months or years to find the right people to help you, but there are people out there. You know, but a quick Google search and a quick, you know, trying the next best thing, it isn't necessarily going to help. You've got to have people that you trust, people that you can watch. You know, that's why we built a great business, is by being consistent in the marketplace over the course of the last 5 years. People know who we are and trust us because you know, our message has never changed. All we've ever done, you know, publicly, all over Facebook, all over the internet, all over Perth, is been doing things to help people, so people know and trust us because of that. You know, and for yourself, you look and go, what you need to do is find people you can trust who can help you. You know, so really important that, you know, you don't necessarily need anyone else's approval to do something. Just go and do whatever you do with diligence. Now, if you've got health goals, you know, don't go and speak to your friends who are fat. Okay? It is a big tip, you know, especially for women heading into a new year. How often do you hear people go, oh, I'm going to lose some weight. Women's stock standard response is this: you don't need to lose any weight. You're absolutely fine as you are. How many times have you heard that? I hear people say it. I'm stood next to them and it makes me cringe. You're fine as you are. And you go, well, obviously this person isn't fine because in their opinion, they want to improve their body. And 99 times out of 100, that person probably isn't in optimal health. Now, I'm not going to put my arbitrary opinion on what is optimal health, but for most people, I think they could probably hold their hands up and go, I'm not in optimal health. So what you've got there is one person saying they want to improve their health and a person next to them who probably doesn't want to admit that their health isn't great going, oh, you're fine. Because if you're not fine, that means I'm definitely not fine. You know, so you look and go, if you've got your own goals and you've got specific stuff you want to do, commit to it yourself and only talk about those goals with the people who will help you. You know, and there's things here, keep your fears to yourself, but share your fears with others. That's a Robert Louis Stevenson quote. You know, so be careful what you say to others. Don't share them your fears, only share them your courage. So don't share what you're going to do with people unless you've got ultimate conviction with it. You know, hustle behind closed doors. Do the stuff that you need to do on your own. Because generally, like you say you're doing Dry July, and what do people try and do? They sabotage you. You know, you say you're on a health kick, people sabotage you. Oh, it's all right, go on, just have one. No. You know, you've got to have conviction in your own stuff. So, like, you know, do like pregnant women do. If you're trying to not drink, do what pregnant women do. And get a water and say that it's vodka and soda or whatever. You know, do what my wife did. You know, you just pretend, buy one drink and get someone who will assist you. You buy a glass of wine, you have one sip and swap drinks and never actually really drink from it. That's what me and my wife did when she was pregnant to try and keep it from everyone. She never even took a sip of it. I was just drinking from 2 glasses. You know, so only share what you're going to do with people who support you, not with the other people. Hustle behind closed doors because that's where champions are made. You know, keep a lot of stuff to yourself because a lot of people try and bring you down. That's a fact. And the next thing, guys, when we've got, you know, we looked at our faiths, we looked at our associations, you know, and those people who aren't supporting you, look around your friends, look around your family. You're going to be the sum average of the people you hang around the most. You know, so look at the people that you hang around with. Are they earning the money that you want to earn? Are they living the way that you want to live? Do they speak the way that you want to speak? Do they act the way that you want to act? You know, do they have the health mindset that you have? Do they have the body that you want? Do they eat and live the way that you want to live? Because, you know, unfortunately, shit spreads. You know, good habits don't generally rub off on people. It's bad habits that rub off on people. So what we go look around and go is, well, based on the people I'm around the most, where are they at in their life? Are they where I want to be? Because if they're not where you want to be, likelihood is you'll stay at their level. Because people are either pulling you up or dragging you down. You know, so really important to look around and go like, you know, if you want to make more money, if you want to have better health goals, if you want to progress, if you want to do something with your life, something that you haven't done before, make changes for your future. Look at the people around you and say, are you going to help me get to where I want to be? And this is where the power of association and dissociation comes in. You know, if people around you aren't helping you get towards your goals, you need to make that decision. Do I associate with you in the way in which I am, or do I dissociate? Because until you make a gap in your life, it can't be filled. Until you make a gap to associate with people who will lift you up and help you towards your goals and inspire you to be the best version of yourself, until you make a gap for those people to come in, it won't be, because it'll be filled by someone else. Yeah, that's a law of Newton's. You know, any gap has to be filled. So really important that to look and go, who am I associating with? And it doesn't mean you drop all your friends, but what it means is if you've got somewhere you've got to go in your life, you need to make room for it. You know, it's really important that to look at the people you're hanging around, and maybe you need some people just to give you a bit of a positive influence to help you towards those goals. You know, because a lot of us talk about the things that we want, we talk about our dreams, but a key thing is here, a dream is a goal without a deadline. And that's one to write down. A dream is a goal without a deadline. You know, so there's dreamers and there's doers. There's those who make things happen, there's those who watch things happen, and there's those who wonder what the hell just happened. You know, and all too commonly, like, people go, oh, I wish I'd done that. that person was so lucky, they got involved and they did that, they invested their money, they were lucky, it was just the right time. I was like, no, they were out trying things. They wasn't lucky. Lucky is where preparation meets opportunity. Are you prepared? Are you on the field of play when that moment occurs? If you're not in the nightclub, you're not going to meet the girl. That's it. That's a stone fact. If you're not out on the streets, all the good things aren't going to come to you. If you want a business, you've got to be out there meeting people who are talking about things that might be a benefit to you in order to get those opportunities. You don't get it sat watching Game of Thrones. And that's nothing against Game of Thrones, but you look and go, you've got to prioritize. When there's things that can benefit your life, you've got to be out in the field of play for that. It's where we prioritize our time. I'll get to time blocking in a minute, but really important, set those goals, have a big goal, have a big dream, because a goal is it's like being anchored to a ship that pulls you forward. When you've got a goal, it's like hooking yourself an anchor to a ship with a chain, and it's like, this is taking me. And when your goal is big, it will pull you. And if you've got a small goal, it won't take you anywhere. It's like being pulled by a rabbit. You're going nowhere being pulled by a rabbit. You're being pulled if you go with a ship. So you've got to make your goal big enough that it's going to pull you. They go, that is worth the pain. That prize is worth the price. Because there's two types of motivation. One is being pulled, that's a goal. And one is being pushed, that's a pain. That's what we spoke about before. You don't want to leave your pain to be so big that it pushes you, because that's where people they just go into crazy midlife crisis mode. They become sick with a chronic disease, they have a heart attack, cancer, diabetes, and then they act. It's too late. You should have acted 10 years ago. You knew about eating less, we knew about drinking more water, we know about exercise, but have we been doing it? No, because our priorities have been wrong. So don't let it get to the point that you're pushed by a pain, by the stabbing pain of something being wrong. Be pulled by the ship, and you do that by making a big goal and a big dream, something that's worth working for. It's so important. Get that goal, break it down. This is one of the keys, guys. Break it down. Say a dream is a goal without a deadline. But once you've got a goal, sometimes you can look at it and go, whoa. How do I even do that? And that's why people get into this word that I'd love to eradicate from the English dictionary, overwhelm. Who's ever suffered with overwhelm? Just bang it in here if you've suffered with overwhelm. And guys, if you're enjoying this, can someone hit me up with some comments? Because I'm talking here and I'm getting nothing back. So give me type some comments. If something I've said's good, let it back. Give me some smiley face or some thumbs up, because I'm kind of feeling a bit cold out here, guys. So what we've got to do is we've got to get our goals and we've got to break it down, okay? Let's get rid of the word overwhelm. I want everybody to promise me never to use that word again in all of your life. Never use the word overwhelm, because overwhelm is a choice. Overwhelm is the choice by yourself to choose to think you've got to do everything that you want to do, okay? I'll repeat that because it's really important. Overwhelm is a choice by yourself to feel that you have to do everything that's in your to-do list that you want to do. And the fact is you don't. You choose to put yourself into overwhelm. Okay? So if you've got a lot on, you just go, wow, there's quite a lot here in my to-do list. I have an enormous amount of goals. I've got some big plans for the future. Currently, I've got a whole heap of things that I'm going to work my way through. When you choose to go, unfortunately, my priorities won't allow me to undertake all of the things that I want to do. Unfortunately, I can't do that. You don't even need a word. There isn't a word for it. There isn't a word for it. Because it comes down to a mindset. So the word overwhelm is a sentence saying, I'm choosing to be stressed because I feel like I have to do everything. And it's quite easy to go, is somebody going to die? Is this really, really important? Is this quite important? Is this not so important? Is this a choice? Or is this just something that's actually just a total waste of my time? And most things will fall down this end. So what you do is you just go all of this stuff, I'm going to write them down in a to-do list, and I'm going to file that in the I'm never going to do this box. And most things you're just not going to do. And like you say, you've just got to get it. If you've got loads of stuff to do, you've obviously just got to try and do it, but you can only do so much. So we've got to give ourselves a break and go like, these are the things that are most important, and they come by. Is someone going to die? Is this to do with like me keeping my house or losing my house? And what are your priorities? And you know what, things like keeping up with the Joneses, with keeping your house super clean and all these kind of things that people do, running the kids everywhere when they're probably big enough to use public transport, keep tidying all the time. Like my office, my wife finally tidied it for me because I didn't. And she was like, why don't you tidy your office? And I was like, I've got better things to do. I'm busy doing things that make me money, not keeping my office tidy. I don't need those little dopamine hits by ticking off a to-do list. My to-do list just sits there. I don't even touch it because I know what my big rocks are. So everything just goes on the to-do list, and commonly, unless I'm absolutely, someone stops me and goes, do this now, please, I just don't do it because I've got better things to do. That's it. So yeah, really break it down. Break everything down into small chunks. Exactly how are you going to get there? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you walk from Perth to Sydney? One step at a time. It may take a long time to get somewhere, but what we got to do is just break everything down into small chunks and go, right, like, what's the smallest piece that I can do that's a little bit of an achievement? What can I do that just gets me that little step closer? I don't have to worry about getting there. Like I look and I go, I want to make $10 million more. I want to do all this awesome stuff for the world. I want to hopefully have millions of followers and speak to thousands of people. How do you do that? By picking up one new follower at a time. How do you make $1 million? By having the money that you earn go from $100 to $200 to $300 to $500 to $1,000. It's one little bit at a time. So we've got to break our chunks down. If it's health goals, you lose, how do you lose 20 kilos? 1 gram at a time. 1 day at a time. How do you put muscle on? 1 day at a time. And it takes as long as it takes, because the only way you can speed something up is by being consistent and by having focused effort. And if you can't necessarily laser focus your effort, at least you can be consistent with what you do. So the bit that you do, just do it consistently over time. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other, it'd take you a while, but you get to Sydney from Perth. Like, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't even fathom how many steps this is going to take me. It's okay, I'll just keep stepping. And so really important that, do that, set your goals, break them down, time block. This was the important bit there, is to time block, to actually get in and set your tasks out every single day. What are you doing every day? Where is your time being spent? It's amazing when we break down our time to look and go, we do so much stuff, and so much of it probably isn't very valuable to our life. If you break every single thing in your day down into 15-minute blocks, do all of your life onto a spreadsheet, onto a piece of paper. What do I do every single day, every 15 minutes? And look at that, and every single 15 minutes of your life go, is that taking me towards or away from my goals? And if it's not taking you towards your goals, can you get rid of it? How much time do you spend in the shower? Does it take you ages? Does it not? How long does it take you to get up? How long does it take you to get to work? Do you sit in front of the TV? Really easy one. Get rid of TV time. I did ages without watching any TV at all. I got so much done. Eventually I went back because I do love a bit of TV, but I don't watch it. I watch everything streamed, 45 minutes or an hour. I listen to audiobooks on like 2 times speed. Everyone laughs at me for it. How do you shrink your time and make the most of it? Important that. Time block, because when you can control time, you become the master of everything. Yep. Like I was saying before, dream big, focus on one thing though at a time. I don't necessarily know if showering is essential, Beth. Which would you prefer to do? Shower every day or brush your teeth every day? It's a tough one, right? So So I reckon brush your teeth and skip the shower if you really need to. Wear your underwear one time one way, one time backwards, and then go inside out. 4 days, one pair, no probs. That's a joke. Martin says that all the time. So really important about time blocking, guys. Here's a cool one. Start your day with gratitude, because fear and procrastination can't live there. If there's anything to do at the start of the day or the end of the day, massively I shout out to anyone, especially if you get anxiety, especially if you wake up with fear, or there's things about your life that you don't want. Start your day with gratitude. Wake up in the morning and think about the things that you're grateful for. Journal. Journal everything. Write in your journal in the morning the things that you're grateful for and what you're going to do that day. In the evening before you go to bed, people used to pray. If you pray. Keep doing that. People used to pray and they used to thank God for what's happened today, and they used to pray for good things to happen to them. I journal. Write down what's happened that day. Write down the good things that have happened. Write down the bad. Write down your goals. I write the same goals virtually every day. Long-term goals, short-term goals, and then 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then that downloads everything out of your head. You're praying, you're asking the universe, whatever that be, and you go to bed with a positive mindset, thinking about your goals. Make it the very last thing that you do. No phone, no anything after that. Write them down, bed. Don't pollute it with your phone after you've done that. Beth said, can I alternate? Guys, can we vote on this? What would you do between brushing your teeth and showering? Would you alternate, or would you pick one? I can't believe we're having this. Shelley says, what underwear? Rock on, Shelley. I love what Shelley just said there. Good girl. So that's it. And then guys, we're starting to move towards the end here now, guys. This is a big one. Like, look at yourself. Ask yourself, am I worth it? Is the future me worth it? Is the future of my family worth it? Is the person that I will become by giving myself permission to do the things that I love? Is it worth it? Are you worth it? And the answer should, I hope, be yes. Are you worth all of that stuff? Are you worth the pain? Are you worth that investment? Because this is what it is. You're investing in yourself. You'll invest in a TV because you need to watch HD footy. You'll invest in a car because you need to do this. You'll invest in all these things. Are you worth investing in yourself? And the only way we invest in ourselves, or you've got the time, you've got the money, and you've got the pain. And sometimes that price is what needs to be paid. And that's a little bit of discomfort. But that's the learning process. Are you worth it? There's a great quote from Seth Godin. In a battle between 2 ideas, the best one doesn't necessarily win. The idea that wins is the one with the most fearless heretic behind it. That's a great quote. In a battle between 2 ideas, the best one doesn't necessarily win. The idea wins is the one with the most fearless heretic behind it. So the heretic in this thing, a heretic's a person with a belief, whichever way it be. Now, you've got 2 heretics and they sit on either shoulder. There's the good angel and the devil, right? And one wants the best for you and the other one is your ego. And you've got to determine which one you're going to listen to. You've got to determine which one you're going to give air time to. Because this guy's like saying, hey, like, you're worth it, do it. And this guy's like, you're not. But the thing is, this guy talks a lot more and he talks a lot louder. So we've got to look and choose to give this guy a little bit more airtime. We do that by believing in ourselves, by doing gratitude, by our disassociation and dissociation, by writing down our goals and dreams, by writing down where we want to be, by thinking about our time, by sitting and figuring out where is the fear. Give this guy more airtime. Listen to the positive. Because this guy talks a lot. This is the monkey mind. You're not worth it, you're stupid, you're fat, no one likes you, this person's better than you are, that person's got more money, look at this person on Facebook, I should have more money, I should be doing better, I'm 30 years old, my life should be better than this now. All these things that you say to yourself. You've got to shut this guy off, and the only way you do it is by crowding him out. You crowd out the devil by making way for the good. You give this guy more time and this guy just kind of slowly fades away and you can manage it. So really important that. Dare to dream. Give yourself the permission to be the thing that you want to be, to chase your dreams, and don't need anyone else's opinion. You are you. You are worth everything that you want to put in it, and you just need to be you in all of your awesomeness. And if there's something inside of you saying things aren't right and I'm not happy, you're going to be a long time living. And you're worth more. You're worth whatever you want to be. So go out there and chase it. If it's health goals, if it's relationship, if you've got to get rid of someone that's bad in your life, get rid of them. Short-term pain, long-term gain. You know, really important to do that kind of stuff. You know, and to believe in you and say that I'm worth it because I'm most important. Be selfish. Put yourself before the kid, before the husband, before your parents. Because there's only you. You are you in all of your awesomeness, and you're a single sentient person. And when you are full of love and happiness, and your soul is singing because you're doing exactly what your spirit wants you to, the gift that you give to the world in the way in which you vibrate, that's all that you've got to be. You'll be a happier, healthier, better person. And that's the gift you give to the world. People say, I'm trying to find my purpose. Nobody has a purpose. The only purpose we have is to let our spirit be happy, because we were given to this body for this body to be the vehicle of us to totally just, you know, to do what we want. You know, to be someone who makes ourselves happy, because that's all we're here to be. And when you're happy, the people who are supposed to be around you, who vibe with what you are, will just be like, wow, I've got to be around that person. Because that person vibes with me. And when you come together, that's where you just create this whole amazing energy. People together, and that's all you've got to be. Put yourself first. You know, Picasso said, I dream my painting, then I paint my dream. Write that down. I dream my painting, then I paint my dream. You dream your painting by thinking about it, by giving yourself time to decide how you want your life. Stop. Write down your dreams, how you want your life to be, exactly what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Write down the blueprint. When you build a house, you don't just build a house. Every single step is laid out in a blueprint. And you look and go, how do I want my life to be? This is how I'm going to get there. And if you're not sure how, ask someone to help you. Sometimes it can be as simple as someone just going, hey, why don't you just do this, this, and this? No skill in it. Just a second, someone else's opinion of what you're doing. You go, wow, that was pretty easy. Yeah, no probs. You know, ask someone to help you to write out a plan. And then just paint your dream. Dream it, paint it. If you can dream it, you can do it. You know? I say, dream, believe, achieve. And this is where it comes down. Another great quote. Go to sleep with a dream, wake up with a purpose. This comes back to journaling. Go to bed with a dream. Write down what you want to achieve. Read your goals. If you struggle with being positive, if you struggle with mindset, if you struggle believing in yourself, struggle with self-value, write down exactly how you want your life to be, the person you want to be, the person you want to be with, if you want to be confident, if you want a better job, if you want money, write it down, because that is the blueprint of your life. That's the script of your superhero story right there. That's the movie of your life. And read it and be inspired by your own dreams. You read that before you go to bed and your brain will visualize how to achieve it. I truly believe we're the center of our own universe. You know, we're in the matrix. You know, look at it. Imagine if we are in the matrix, right? This is big. Imagine if we're in the matrix and everything around us is like The Sims. And this is like just a whole virtual reality that we're making happen. Imagine if you just go, well, that could be true. So I'm just going to visualize everything I want. And then your brain's just going to go, right, how do I make this happen around us? I don't know if that's the truth or not, but, you know, it's not going to hurt by thinking it could be true. So if you get that vision in your head, it can only do things better for you. You know, when you believe that in your own mind, you know, who knows what you can do. But if you go to sleep dreaming of your life it could be, there's a good chance you're going to wake up in the morning with a bit more conviction to make it happen. You know, give yourself permission. Invest in yourself. Start to make things happen in the new year. Take that action. Find the people around you. There's a great quote from Mark Twain I absolutely love. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than those that you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbour, catch the wind in your sails, explore, dream, discover. That's by Mark Twain. Like I use that a lot because it's so important. You know, do you want to wake up in 20 years' time and look back at this very moment on this very webinar with us talking about this, where we spoke and you've thought, oh my God, you know, something that Dave said there resonates. Do you want to look back in 20 years' time knowing you were on this call now and you didn't make the change, or you didn't even try? Even if you try and you fail, at least you've given it a go. You know, there can only be good comes into your life by trying, because you're either growing or you're dying. You know, you're either trying to invest in yourself or you're slowly going to shrink away. Like muscles, if you don't use your muscles, they go. If you don't look after the garden, the weeds take over it. It isn't hard to keep a garden beautiful once you've got it there. Leave it for a little bit and the weeds come in quick. You know, so are you going to invest in yourself? Are you going to sail away from the safe harbour? Are you going to get away and know that, you know, that I'd rather move towards a better world than sat on that nail of discomfort, because this nail of discomfort isn't quite uncomfortable enough for me to move. You know, moving and shifting and changing my life, it sounds difficult, so I'm not going to bother. I'll just sit here on this nail for a while and it'll probably just stick in me for all my life, but, you know, I'll get used to it. Or do you go to your dreams? You know, so I plead with everybody, this year, please move towards your dreams. Please take steps to make it happen, whatever it be, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, relationships, your career, learning something new, whatever it be. Just set some goals down. You can't, not too many, just put a few down and start to make them happen. Ask somebody, find some people around you to help you. Go to meetup groups with people that share similar interests with you. Go to Facebook groups, go to trainings, invest in yourself. Don't go to a holiday, go to a conference. You know, get around the people that are interested in the things that you want. Make some new friends with similar interests. You know, your friendship group aren't about the people you spent your life with. It's the people that are going to help you be where you want to be in the future. You know, do what you've always done. You're going to get what you've always got. You know, you've got to do something different if you want change. And I promise you it'll be worth it. You know, again, us at Lifestyle by Laptop, if you're interested in anything really, I'm happy to help anyone. You know, with almost anything. I'm always open to help and have a conversation and give some advice in anything. So always feel free to reach out, and, you know, I'll give a quick phone call to anybody. You know, if you're looking at a business, we've got an online business, that's what we do. This personal development side is what it's all about. You know, because making money is easy. You know, the hard bit is having the confidence and the desire and the belief and motivation to do it. So if you're interested in that, check us out, lifestylebylaptop.com, throw me a message. Hit us up, comment. You know, we're not hard to find. Check out what we do, it's awesome. And you know, we just love people and we're honest and we're ethical. So, you know, if you're going to look at a business, it's the best way to go. And guys, I'm going to leave this with a quote. Okay? This is going to be the deepest quote you've ever heard. So be ready for it. Get your pens at the ready. It's from Yoda out of Star Wars. Do it or not, there is no try. Boom. So that's it, guys. You know, if you want something from life, please do it. Make it happen. Bring it to life in 2019. And again, if you want anything, please do reach out to us. Any of the team at Lifestyle by Laptop, we're always happy to help with almost anything. We're like 90% counsellor and like 20% actual business people. So you know, we're here for anything. If you've liked this, please do comment. Flick me some smiley faces. Flick me some hearts. Give me a couple of comments here at the end. Guys, please do share this if you've had some value. You know, it really does help us get this out if you share it. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And we do these every week. So do come on, jump on, watch these, watch the replays. We really do appreciate it. And I thank you all for your time, because you could be doing 1,000 other things and you're here listening to me. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Guys, everybody have an absolutely wonderful day. I love you all.